Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're breaking down the source material on those absolutely shocking market swings we just saw. The thing is, the source suggests these weren't just random forces at play, but more like a carefully written script. So let's just dive right in with the scale of this thing. Almost $20 billion in value just liquidated from the market. Overnight. Gone. And, behind that massive number are real people. According to the source, 1.6 million people had their accounts totally emptied. They lost everything. What's just so stunning is how fast it all happened. This wasn't some slow motion crash. No, this all went down over a single weekend. It left investors totally sleepless, completely stunned, and just asking themselves, what on earth just happened? Okay, so first, let's really look at that moment of pure panic. I mean, how could the market be in a total free fall 1 minute and then just suddenly, violently reverse course the next? If you felt like you were being completely played during all that chaos, watching everything plummet only to see it rocket right back up, well, our source material suggests you're actually onto something. The free fall in stocks and crypto was followed by this insane rebound, all after just a single social media post from Trump. And that's exactly why the source is claiming this wasn't random chaos at all. It was a carefully designed script, one that's actually played out before. So now, let's pull back the curtain on the theory the source presents to explain this whole pattern. It's a psychological strategy they call the taco script. And no, taco isn't about food. It's an acronym the market came up with for Trump's signature negotiating style. Trump, always, chickens out. The pattern is pretty clear. Create absolute maximum panic with these really harsh, extreme threats, and then right at the last possible second, back off with some kind of signal that things are easing up. The source compares it to something like a supplier negotiation. First, you threaten to cancel your entire contract over prices, right? You send the other side into a complete panic. Then, when they're totally desperate, you come back in with a smile and offer a smaller, more reasonable deal, which, of course, they gratefully accept. Just like that, you've completely shifted the entire power dynamic. In this slide, it just lays out the 4 key steps of this whole psychological playbook perfectly, using what happened back in April as a blueprint. So step 1, apply extreme pressure with a threat that seems, honestly, economically self-destructive. Step 2, you let that threat create widespread panic and a huge market sell-off. Step 3, right when the fear is at its absolute peak, you release just a small signal of easing. And finally, step 4, you just watch as the market, so relieved it wasn't the doomsday scenario, triggers a massive V-shaped reversal. So here's the crucial question, right? Was this recent October crash just a repeat performance? I mean, did the market really fall for the exact same script a second time? Now, this is what's really interesting when you put them side by side. While the script, threat, panic, reversal, was identical, the market's reaction was completely different. In October, the panic was way more muted. The VIX fear index only hit 22, compared to a whopping 60 back in April. And the rebound? It happened over a single weekend, not several days. Smart money didn't just panic this time, they saw the pattern and they bought the dip. And that speed, that's the key takeaway here. It really suggests that investors are starting to catch on to the playbook. It's like the market is developing an immunity, which means these kinds of opportunities, the ones born from pure irrational panic, well, they're becoming much, much more fleeting. Okay, so let's shift gears and look to the future. If this is a script that can be repeated, what happens in the next act? The source actually outlines 4 potential ways this could go. So yeah, where does the story go from here? All right, the most probable outcome, according to the source, is that all this high-stakes drama works exactly as it was intended. The whole taco maneuver was never really about starting a destructive trade war. It was about creating just enough leverage to force everyone back to the negotiating table. So in this scenario, both sides find a way to claim a small victory, they reach a limited deal, and the overall market tension just kind of fades away. Then there's another scenario where China basically decides, hey, we've seen this movie before, and they don't buy the verbal goodwill. They decide to test Trump's bottom line with their own moves, and that leads to this really volatile period where the market is just swinging like crazy between hope for a deal and fear of escalation. there's also this chance that all this high-stakes performance art ironically pushes both sides to a deal faster. I mean, both sides know a long trade war doesn't help anyone, so this much ado about nothing approach might actually speed the whole process up, leading to a quicker, more comprehensive agreement than anyone expects. And finally, we have the least likely scenario. This is the one where the threats actually become reality. The button gets pushed, and the world just plunges into a full-blown trade war. The source really views this as a suicidal path that's against everyone's best interest, both politically and economically, which is why it's so improbable. So, this brings us to what might be the most important part of this whole explainer. If you understand the script and you see the potential outcomes, how do you actually turn that knowledge into a strategy? Where's the opportunity in all this chaos? The source provides this really simple but powerful framework to think about it, FTP. So F is for fundamentals. You have to ask, did the basic health of good companies actually change because of the crash? The source says no. Then T is for technicals. This is about the market's overall chart direction. Did this sharp drop actually break the bigger medium-term upward trend? Again, the analysis showed it did not. And third, P for psychology. Did the market hit a state of extreme irrational pessimism? Oh, absolutely. So the conclusion from the source is, when your F and your T are still solid, but P is in a total panic, that's where an opportunity is born. And this slide, well, it just perfectly captures the mindset you need to actually act on that analysis. It's about having the conviction to buy when everyone else is running scared, a principle famously stated by, of course, Warren Buffett. So the final takeaway from our source material is really this. Now that you've seen the script, now that you kind of understand the game, the next time the market is gripped by absolute chaos and fear, are you going to be one of the people running for the exits, or will you be the one running towards the opportunity?